I just wanted to introduce you to this cute German Shepherd dog, because I like dogs, and I sometimes liken programming or programming languages and computers in general to dogs. Dogs are much cuter and give you a lot more like companionship, but they kind of work similarly. Because if you have some dog like a German Shepherd or a Lab or something like that, they are eager to please, and if you train them well, basically they do the task very well, but that's what they're limited to. That's all they've been trained to do. So you can talk to them in English and they're just going to look at you funny, but if you tell them some buzzword like fetch or sit or shake or roll over or go get it or want to go for a car ride, they go crazy and they react accordingly. Programming languages are the same way. They basically function in a way where someone has done the back end work, where there are commands and it knows those commands, but it might not know how to do the command in the manner in which you're seeking it out. So, what programming languages typically have is they have uh, keywords that are set aside to have a specific purpose. So things like true, false, like you can write out a string of true and write out a string of false, and that just means the word true and the word false, but true and false might be something else that's dedicated to some sort of Boolean or some sort of test case. Just like um, if and else and while and for and all these types of loop statements. All of these are special words, just like a dog's special word would be like sit or stay or roll over. And it does the task as it's asked. But the thing that requires a little bit extra to be a programmer is that you have to now see a problem that you're trying to solve, see the commands that are available to you and try to connect them and try to filter it through that to get it to do what you want it to do. So basically, you're trying to get the dog to do a specific task that you haven't trained it to do, but you can try and get it there by using a bunch of the techniques that it has available to it. So that's why it says, what's next? What's next? A processor is like, okay, I did the task. What next? The dog is like, okay, I got the ball. What next? And so for us, we're used to using computers because someone's done all this work with user experience and GUIs and stuff like that, where we can just push buttons, do things, touch screens, and everything under the sun just happens. But if you want to make something new, or if you end up working for a firm that basically wants you to develop an app, or they want you to basically recode something or predict the sales of something, you might have to go into the software or the back end and basically manipulate it in a different way than what the code is already built for to complete the task that you're trying to achieve. So thankfully for us, someone did all the trouble of creating a programming language that is generally a lot more user-friendly than historic ones. And it allows for us to basically jump in and get working with Python. So computers are our aids. They're built to be our aids, but they don't always work the same as we intend them to. So what's the difference between a user and a programmer? So a user is just basically someone using a computer, whereas a programmer is basically teaching the computer what it needs to do. So basically, anyone can pet your dog and tell it to sit, and anyone can tell your dog to go and play fetch with it and stuff like that. But are they the ones training your dog? No. The ones that are training your dog are the programmers. They're the ones that's training uh, the software and the program to function in the manner that you want it to, with the keywords, with the functionality it has. Other people have built upon this and created packages, and those packages basically help solve the limitations that existed pre that package. So, for instance, in the most basic level of Python 3, you can do mathematical functions, but in order for you to do a square root, I mean, I think they might have changed it in one of the more recent versions, but until recently, and maybe still to this day, in order for you to take the square root of something, you have to import a package called math to take the square root of 3. Like, you might know the square root of 4 is 2, but in order for it to do the math on it, it's got to have a package imported. So someone did that. And then we also have like data science packages like pandas. We have packages that help like edit images called like the image library pill or something like that. So it gets more expansive the more you understand the material.